President Trump's favorability levels have remained relatively stable, but on the specific issues expected to tip the election, he may not be doing so well. In a recent Economist YouGov poll, voters disapproved of President Trump's handling of issues including civil rights, the economy, the environment, gun control, healthcare, and immigration.
And Trump's lack of support on those issues is what the Democratic candidates are, of course, hoping to exploit in 2020. Learning the truth about the policy positions of President Trump versus the Democratic Party was one of the reasons why David Weissman actually stopped supporting the president. He went from a conservative Republican Trump supporter to a liberal Democrat, thanks in part to outreach by some higher-profile liberals like Sarah Silverman and Chelsea Clinton. And David Weissman joins us now via Skype to share more of his story. Welcome, sir.
Hi. How are you guys?
So we found one Trump supporter who changed his mind.
Made Crystal's day.
Just tell us a little bit about let's start with what drew you to Trump in the first place. What was it about him that held appeal for you?
Okay, well, as you know, there's a lot of anger from conservatives for the past 10 years. A lot of it is due because of the manipulation and misleading from conservative media on their portrayal of Democrats and what liberals actually believe in. So a lot of that anger is building up. And I originally actually voted for Ted Cruz. That's how conservative I was in a primary election. And then when the general election came, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to vote for Trump over Hillary because we were led to believe that she's like this evil person wanting to destroy America, and Trump knew exactly what conservatives wanted, and a lot of us fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And when I decided to be part of MAGA, I went all the way in, and I guess how you call it, took the Make America Great red pill and got to the point where Trump can do no wrong, and before Trump, conservatives always felt that, MSNBC or other, news networks were always fake news and anti-conservative. And Trump, knew that, and he ran with it and used that for his advantage.
So forgive me, David, but I still have trouble understanding what your exact shift in position is here. It sounds like you bought into some online Twitter culture or whatever, and that you're blaming conservative media for tricking you into supporting Trump?
Yes. I've always had, I was raised with conservative values, but when I really got into politics, I started watching shows like Sean Hannity, and, listen to other conservative networks like CRTV, different people like that. And I made the mistake to not really question their judgment on issues and people, and I felt, hey, they're reporting to Americans, so they're probably being honest about it. So I took their word on a lot of things, and I never really questioned at the time.
Did their coverage color not just how you saw sort of Hillary Clinton and other liberals who were politicians and leaders? Did it also color how you saw your fellow citizens who were progressive or liberal?
Yes, we are a lot of these networks and people that I spoke with online, really believe that liberals were the enemy of America. They want to take away your rights, they want to take away your freedoms, take away your guns and religion, and that's where a lot of this anger comes from.
Do you see a similar demonization, though, happening on the left? Do you think that there's an analog there?
No, no one's perfect, and there is tribalism on both sides, but I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as how it is with Trump supporters.
I think, David, that what I'm trying to get at here is that anger and a lot of that frustration that a lot of Trump supporters felt, the way that you're talking about how conservative media allegedly demonizes people on the left, is very much how they feel their values and their way of life demonized by people on the left. And so do you understand why so many people would find that appealing? Because to me, it seems like what you're saying is that they've manufactured something out of thin air and are lying to people straight up. I think I think that's a completely false premise. And I want you to defend that position.
Sure, no problem. And this is one of the reasons why I became a Democrat, because a lot of the stuff that I was led to believe was false.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, Democrats actually do care about military and veterans. You see conservatives all the time saying that they don't, and I didn't question it. And when I had a dialogue with Sarah Silverman and other liberals, they said, no, you can actually care about, immigrants and military and veterans at the same time, because we always said, one of the talking points is, why do Democrats care more about illegal aliens than they do about the military veterans?
Mm-hmm.
And when I was dialoguing with her, she actually said, you can actually do both at the same time. And, find out it was a Democrat that created a GI Bill. So, a lot of these talking points that I've learned was false, and I, we always, like I said, we always were told that Democrats want to take guns away. And I was told to read the fine print of the Constitution. It's not just right to bear arms. There's more to it. There's, it actually talks about having a well-regulated militia. And, you don't see the fine print when it comes to conservative media. So that was kind of a surprise. And, and there's more issues.
But David, once again, it seems to me that you just accepted something uncritically and that you're once again accepting a narrative from the left or Sarah Silverman or whomever also uncritically, which is that the right are a bunch of liars. And you don't seem to have, you seem to have fallen for something else on the left, just as you did on the right. Assure our viewers of the thought and ideological process that has gone about your transition here.
Sure. I mean, once I realized a lot of the talking points were wrong, I actually went in and researched, back, 10 years of, the United States and beliefs. So I did not just take Sarah's word for it. I mean, when I saw someone as progressive as she is, not saying, hey, we don't want to take your guns, we don't want to do this or that, and talked about seeking asylum, I actually went and I took the time to thoroughly research. I went to the government sites, saying how they feel about seeking asylum. So I actually did the homework and went and did a lot of research on issues and people outside of the conservative bubble. So I wasn't just taking their word for it. I actually went back and did a lot of research on it.
David, why do you think there are so few people like you? I mean, the president once famously said he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and his people would still stay with him. And by and large, he's been correct. I mean, his approval rating within the Republican Party, I think I just saw this morning, reached a new record high. Why do you think that so many people are so committed to him?
It's out of fear, anger, misinformation. That all contributes to why people are still supporting him.
David, who are you currently supporting in the Democratic primary?
Senator Elizabeth Warren.
And why is that?
When I was trying to figure out which candidate I felt was going to be Trump, I felt that she has a lot of experience behind her. To me, she has a command leadership presence, and she also has a similar background that I can relate to, being a Republican and now Democrat. So I don't agree with all of her policies, but I support majority of them. And one of the things I learned about why I'm now a Democrat is that Democrats seem to care more about fighting for rights of others and not necessarily your own rights. And when I was conservative, the focus seemed to be caring about your own rights, even though you already have them. You already have free speech, you already have right to bear arms, you already have all these rights. But there's people outside of that culture that still don't have any rights.
Yeah.
I mean,
David, do you know anybody else who's gone from Trump supporter to Warren supporter? You're the only one I know of. Do you know of any others?
I know the Mooch, Anthony Scaramucci.
Well.
And Joe Walsh.
I don't know that he's backing Warren.
Also, not sure you want to be in company with that.
Well, thank you so much. We're so glad to have you
Thanks,
today.
David. Appreciate it.
And thank you for having me on.
Our pleasure.
We'll have more Rising for you after this.